I recently read in one of your books that our singular purpose in life is to create. I believe you said, and I paraphrase you here, that our purpose is not to convince others, not to influence others, etc., but to create as individuals. I take this to mean one should mind one's own business.
Well, it's easier for you to create what you want if you're focusing upon what you want rather than upon what everybody else is doing in relationship to what you want. The more others you observe, the more possibility you have of messing up your vibration. But on the other hand, the more others you observe, the more possibility you have of defining what you want. In other words, doesn't living in this world and observing what others are doing help you to hone the specifics of what you want?
Well, I think we are leading up to the problem I'm faced with. Because an issue has arisen that places me deeply in tension with your guidance. I belong to an international body of scientists, mostly university academics, who have been researching a vitally important issue for several years. And our conclusions are not just stupefying, they're absolutely terrifying. I'm overwhelmed by this discovery because over 100,000 innocent people have been killed through 2 wars on account of it. In fact, women and children are dying as I speak. As a compassionate human being, I feel it is my duty to disseminate this information to others. In other words, to influence other people's thinking by presenting our discoveries to them. Clearly, in terms of your guidance, this presents a quandary. In situations such as this, should one simply leave matters to divine justice, if you will, and turn a deaf ear to all the suffering, or should one work towards alerting others to what is clearly a heinous crime? In other words, is this my purpose, if you will, at this point in time?
There is a lot that we want to give you here, and it is our expectation that as we express to you from our vantage point that you will find some clarity. And we want to begin by saying to you that we are in no way trying to dissuade you from your plan. In other words, we are not trying to talk you out of disseminating the information. We want to say to you that we really do not believe that the dissemination of that information will come as big a surprise to the people that you disseminate it to as you might think. In other words, we do not think that the world at large is blind to all of this. And in fact, we think that these terrible wars and this terrible situation that you are worrying about is in fact part of that contrast that we're talking about that is causing billions of people to launch rockets of desire into vibrational escrow. So anytime anything happens, desires are born out of it that source gets hold of and immediately begins orchestrating circumstances and events in order for people to begin to realize the desires that are born out of the contrasting experience. So what we're really saying to you is, whether you beat the drum of this or not, if you work to be one who exacerbates the problem in order to inform the world, you don't really accomplish as much as you think you're accomplishing, because that exacerbation is happening all over the place anyway. But what you do as you continue to want to make sure that one more and one more and one more and one more knows about it, is that you hold yourself and anybody that you get to come with you longer in the vibrational crack between what is happening, awful as it is, and what you want to have happen as a result of this experience that you have learned from and given birth from. We want to soothe you and all others by saying to you that you don't ever need to worry about powerful beings, powerful people, powerful governments taking over for any long period of time, because the grassroots movement of this global environment are such that everyone who's having individual experiences has a vote in what happens next. In other words, the mother who worries as she runs from the bombs, or the mother in another country that's not actually worried about that bomb but just bombs in general, or the person in a safe place that feels terrible for the people who aren't in a safe place, or the people who are just resenting any of it happening to begin with, all of them are contributing mightily to this vibrational escrow from which future experience is going to be born. We want you to understand, if you could look back at the history of man upon your planet, you would see that it has been an endless thing like that. Wars and wars and wars and wars and wars. Contrast and contrast and contrast and contrast and contrast. And yet still, as a result of all of that, is the best civilization, and we're talking worldwide, that has ever existed on your planet. In other words, the desires that are being born is what is causing the essential life experience to continue to come forward as it is. So what did we just say to you? You can exacerbate it as you want to, and you have great justification to do it. But it wouldn't do much about anything except it would cause more contrast and more launching of rockets of desire. And frankly, we don't think that much more of that needs to be done. In other words, that's being done. That's being done. What does need to be done is individuals like yourself or anyone need to come into vibrational alignment with who you are if you are ever to live in joy. Sometimes people think that what we're saying is, well, just stick your head in the sand and don't worry about what's happening over there and just get into a good feeling place and let the chips fall where they may. And we say, well, that is what we're saying, but we're also saying that when the experience that you're observing causes you to launch a rocket of desire, and you sure know what you want in government and in leadership and in world response and in war and in bombs, you sure do know what you want as a result of what you've been witnessing, but very few actually turn their attention toward what they want. They're looking at the scar. They're looking at what's wrong. They're looking at the impoverished. They're looking at a place that causes them to not be a vibrational match to their own dream. There are always those who thrive in the worst of times. And there are always those who suffer in the best of times. And it isn't about the times. It's about the perspective. So you have to ask yourself, what part of this equation am I going to apply my power of influence? Am I going to apply my power of influence to a fanning of the flames of what's wrong? Does that really need to be done? Do more people in the world need to come to a stronger decision? And the answer to that might be yes. You might feel that so many people are uninformed that if they could just be informed, that then more people would shoot more into vibrational escrow. But we think vibrational escrow is already pretty extraordinary as a result of these wars that you're talking about. We have seen the avalanche of desire that has gone into vibrational escrow, not only for you as individuals, but on behalf of others that you care about that are on the other side of the world. So let us go back and continue our question. So the question is, am I going to use my power of influence to inflame the contrast which gives birth to the rockets of desires? Or am I going to put all of my emphasis upon focusing upon the world as I want it to be and expressing it so singularly? You know about leaders. You talk about them. You can find them, most of them on one hand as you count them, who have experienced extraordinary contrast, who then came forth with a dream and focused upon their idea of what they wanted, and in doing so came into vibrational alignment. And one who is in alignment with Source is more powerful than millions who are not. So also, we want to say to you that your nation's leaders, not just your nation's leaders, but nation's leaders, leaders of organizations, by their own words, see themselves as leaders. And we say they are highly overrated.
Thank you.
Because they don't get more than one vibrational vote. In other words, your vibrational vote is equal to theirs, no matter how many bombs they have at their disposal. And when you, with your one vibrational vote, so to speak, come into alignment with your dream that their bombs have caused you to dream, now you, if you line up with your dream, can be a force to reckon with. But if you disempower yourself by beating the drum of what's wrong with their world or with their action or with their behavior, then you squander your vote. You're not powerful. Then you must join the ranks. And we think that the reason that so many people want to join these organizations is because you don't know your power as an individual. So you think that you need to inform the world so that the world will join with you and push against this thing that you do not want, but it doesn't work that way. When you push against something, you give it power. There's a war against drugs and a war against AIDS and a war against cancer and a war against teenage pregnancy and a war against terrorism. Did we say terrorism? A war against, a war against, a war against, and all of those things are getting bigger because even in your well-meaningness, anything you give your attention to, you contribute your vibration to.
One specific question to conclude. I've been approached by a very wealthy individual who's prepared to commit several $1 million towards making a documentary film about this. And this is causing a problem at home, obviously. It terrifies my wife because she thinks this is going to expose me unduly to danger elsewhere because it's rather a hazardous path to pursue. Is this something that I should do?
Well, if you want to, yes. And it can be as hazardous as you decide that it is. We do not see risk in it. But you see, we can feel the intense desire that you have to help things out. In other words, you feel as strongly about this as anybody has ever felt about anything. We can feel that. And so you have to ask yourself, is this an effort that is pointed towards solution? Or is this an effort that is still working on the contrasting end of the equation? In other words, is this effort that I'm applying going to be part of the step one of the equation, which is the asking? Am I just going to stir a bunch of more people up and so that they're asking for something else? Or am I moving to step three? So the question that we would put to you is, does step one need to be more inflamed than it is? Does it need to be more inflamed? Or do you think that enough has happened and that there is enough wanting that if you could turn your attention and all your energy toward what it is that you now want, where are my efforts better served, you see? And the answer to that is always easier to discover than you think. When you play with it, and we would encourage you do for a few days, we would encourage that in your mind you script out a scenario of going ahead with the project and live with how that feels in your gut. And then for a few days, script out a scenario of acknowledging that the world has already experienced that and that billions have launched into vibrational escrow, and that I now want to create a documentary that works more on step three. And we got to tell you, step one documentaries are a whole lot easier than step three documentaries, because the world at large would much rather complain about what is than find vibrational alignment with what they prefer. And that's why you said the most important thing as you first sat down when you said, should I mind my own business? And we say, you can't do anything other than mind your own business. In other words, the world has created this situation that you have observed and made your business. And you can feel your business in your solar plexus as you feel the crack of this. And now as you mind your business, as you play with the ideas of what you're going to do, when you bring yourself into alignment, your heart will soar, you see. And we've just not yet ever seen anyone create the kind of documentary that you're talking about that brings you to the heart soaring position. What it usually does is just aggravate, you see. We got to tell you, percentage-wise, on this planet, there are not that many who are actually suffering from bombs being dropped on them. We're talking about percentage-wise of population. But the pain is being felt worldwide. Is your documentary going to add to that pain or soothe it? And you might say, well, Abraham, sometimes you got to hurt before you can get better. And we say, spoken like somebody coming into physical experience. You said, I'm willing to explore the contrast in order to give birth to desires. But what we really want you to hear is that we really want you to hear this. Doesn't it make sense to you that this caring source that is aware of all things, that as billions of people are having exposure to experience, doesn't it make sense that well-being must be the order of the day? Doesn't it make sense that out of this contrast, desires are being born?